Engineering is so important, especially to women.
It's exciting to see how I can help people.
Doing something life-changing and you're helping society. So
I think in engineering it's really about the curiosity and creating things. You know, even starting with very small things.
Everything in the world involves engineering. How things work, how to make them work, problem solving, everyday things are related to engineering.
It helps everything. Like life today would not be possible without engineering. No matter if mechanical, civil, electrical, everything in the world involves engineering in some way, shape, or form.
I think it takes all kinds of people to be an engineer.
When you study engineering, it helps you develop a discipline that can be applied for problem solving, that can be applied to any other profession.
I like how it's so active and how there's a lot of different, there's various engineering places that you can do, things that you can do.
You can use what you have and what you know, your knowledge, to invent new things, to design things, to create new processes.
Engineers create the world that has never existed.
Because there's so many different things that you could do in engineering.
Like having an engineering background lets you appreciate all the innovation going on around you.
I would say definitely go for it. I mean, always, it really uses your brain and you'll learn so much through it.
Engineering teaches a different way of thinking that I think everyone should experience, and sort of in the same way. I think that for me, engineering is problem solving. It's articulating an issue in a way that makes a variety of solutions obvious.
I think it's cool that people are creating new things or solving problems every single day.
Because when we work together, things happen.
Every day I wake up excited to go to work, and I don't think a lot of people get that.
Helps us in society.
I like building stuff, and so I like doing that kind of stuff.
Helping people.
It's my passion. I have a lot of fun every day.
Engineering is a lot of problem solving.
Well, engineering is important because it improves our life. We need engineering.
There's nothing that you couldn't function in a given day without engineering. Everything we do, engineering saves lives.
I like math and science, and I like solving problems and being creative, and engineering is the best way to do that.
It really makes you think.
Yeah, I
I mean, you have to solve the problems, you know.
Whenever people ask me what engineering is, I sit there and I point to things. I'm like, you see that carpet right there? An engineer made that. You see the roof above your head? An engineer made that. We do everything. That's us.
Engineers are probably the founding blocks of any society. Good engineers means you have great architecture. Good engineers means that you have great production. Good engineers means that you have enough food that everybody can eat. Good engineers means that anything that you see around you is the best that it can be at any society in the world.
I like to figure out how stuff works, so just generally knowing how stuff works and building stuff just sounds fun to me.
That's another reason.
I think it opens up a lot of doors for anyone.
Even if you don't know if you have no idea what you want to do in life, engineering is a good place to start, because with an engineering degree you can go into being management, or you can go into med school, or you could go into vet school or pharmacy school or law school or whatever. And I think that that's not true for every major.
Engineering is very deep and it's very broad, and you can do a lot of different things with it.
We're problem solvers.
Problem solvers. I agree.
We need diversity in the field. If we don't have diversity, then we're just going to sink lower and lower in a global scale. So,
diversity of experience brings a diversity of viewpoints to a problem and different ways to solve it.
Because women can have their own opinions that men might not think about, and so we can add more to engineering.
For women to be an engineer.
It's important for women to be in engineering because we're just as smart as men, and we can come up with new creative ideas too, and we might have something different to offer, and it's just a good opportunity to express yourself and make a change in the world.
Yes,
each group can bring like totally different ideas.
Yeah, and if only one person's giving the idea, their idea might be wrong, and then your whole robot would be messed up. So if you have multiple ideas, you can try a couple of them, and then
One might
be
work
wrong
better than the other.
and then one might work.
I think just different backgrounds and the way you were raised, gender diversity, racial diversity, religious diversity.
I think diversity of experience in any way is really critical.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, women, like, they bring new ideas and stuff, and they bring their side and what would be good for them, so then both genders can make what would be good for both genders and stuff.
Diversity is just going to yield better results.
I think it's very important for women to get into engineering, because what that does is that it diversifies the workplace, and it's not realistic to expect that our society will be improving if half the society is not really participating in engineering.
Because if just boys were on engineering, everything would be like dull and like not colorful. So women need to step in and make it a little colorful.
I think it's especially important just because you're bringing different ideas to the table and you're representing different people, and especially when you're dealing with technology and innovation, you want to have differences of opinion.
Kind of doesn't matter if you're a girl and you like engineering, you can do it. You don't have to be a boy.
I believe it's important for women to be in engineering because engineers make things happen. And I think that, females are a large underrepresented minority in our country. And so I feel like in terms of the ideas and stuff that are being put on the table and the people that are actually, the masterminds behind the engineering that's getting done, you want to make sure that the dynamics of who you're incorporating is kind of evenly distributed across the board. So, incorporating women in that just gives you a different type of, spark to your group, and that's definitely going to add a little flair to the ideas and just make it a little bit non-traditional.
Because I feel like women are like still to this day like underestimated a little bit, but it's like super cool how like they're showing like all the people that like they're just as equal to men as any person. So
yeah, how we can just like show how like everyone's equal and women can do the same thing that like men can and stuff.
Having a diverse thought process, looking at all sides of the problem, coming from different backgrounds in general just gives more of an insight to a problem than if you...
I think it's important for women to be in engineering because we as a gender are awesome and underutilized.
They have different personal experience and they have different like experiences. They have different education and their brains develop faster than boys do.
It brings new ideas to the table that you wouldn't have expected from just men or just women or just different ethnicities in total.
Women are over 50% of the population, and we are only 19.9% in engineering programs across the country. So something's wrong with that picture.
I think we bring a different perspective to engineering. I mean, if engineering is solving the world's problems, I think that we have maybe a different way to solve it than a man would have thought of. So I think in the end you come to a better solution the more appealing.
The skill set is so much more broad that you can approach a problem from different ways.
We think in different ways than men do, so just having that new perspective can lead to all sorts of new solutions to problems.
I think the collaboration between men and women engineers will give us great solutions that would not have happened.
Everyone who has different things that they're good at can bring something different to the table.
Because everyone keeps saying that men are the dominant sex, but they're not. They're both equally important. You need both of them to survive. So they should both be able to have a job. It doesn't matter what job it is. They both should be able to do the job.
When it's just men doing engineering, then you don't have a diverse background.
They always say that women typically have a different mindset than men, so it does give us that advantage. We just bring different aspects to the field, and especially since this is kind of more of a male-dominant field, we can bring that other side saying like, well, women can do this as well, and then we just have different thoughts and stuff like that.
And we are able to see certain problems that
somebody else might not because we have a different perspective.
And we are so capable of doing it, even more so. We have other skills that I think men don't have that balance it out and that just add another perspective to engineering.
We provide a different perspective in a typically male-dominated field, and also there's that kind of reaction when you walk in a room and you know what you're talking about and all the guys are like, whoa, she's really smart. And I think they take you seriously if you can show what you're about and what you know. And are willing to change their ways if they hear it from someone who's different and doesn't think exactly like them.
If everyone is the same and everyone thinks the exact same way, how many answers can you get to a problem? Not very many, because everyone thinks the same. But if everyone's different, we all see it in a different light, we see different solutions, and there's definitely more than one way to get to an answer, and the best is not necessarily what's always been done. So it's good for innovation, I think, to have diversity.
It's going through biology, it's going through chemistry, it's taking a lot of those same courses, and it's just putting it together with the E word on it. And a lot of women just shy away from the E because they don't know what it is. Women don't understand that or know that it actually is a good choice for them.
If it's a good feeling to like prove yourself and show others what you're capable of.
I would say just don't be afraid to do it. I know sometimes most of the time we're definitely the minority, so just don't let that discourage you because it's possible for women to do it. Like, we're standing here today and we're women, so definitely don't be afraid to try it because you think like, well, I'm a woman and that I can't do this, because we can do everything that men can do. So
I would have to say
it's really important that women actually look at this as a viable career option.
And I think the generation of engineers to come really have their work cut out for them, because there's just so much with climate change and water resources and fossil fuels and all of those kinds of things, and this increasing population. There's just so many challenges that need to be met that, I mean, we need so many more engineers, and they could essentially save the world.
That it's fun and you learn how stuff works and you just like see the world in a different light.
I think it's a great career opportunity for women, and they need to try it, so yeah.
And you actually make stuff happen, that's the best feeling. And to know that it's gonna make an impact and that what you did was worth it, I think that's the best feeling.
There are many options in engineering, and if you think it's something you want to do, you should go for it, and you'll find something you love to do in engineering.
If you like putting things together, if you like thinking about how the world works, if you like doing pretty much anything, there's a place in engineering for you. So
just go for it and see what happens from there.
Say, don't give up. Even though society and all different factors might tell you to give up, if you have a goal in mind, just don't give up and just keep pushing at that goal. So
you can do so many cool things with engineering.
And just pursue it and do it and know that you can do it.
Don't hesitate, just do it.
I would say just go for it. Anyone can be an engineer. You just have to have that drive and motivation to want to make a change and just work hard and you can do it.
Seriously, the sky's the limit.
Engineering is definitely the way to go.
STEM can be for girls.
Engineering is awesome, do it.
Do not be intimidated by it. We are just as good as the man.
Engineering is like designing new things and inventing new things and making things work better.
Do it. It's a lot of hard work, but if you see that you want to do engineering, I would say do it and don't let anything come in your way. It's follow your heart, and if that's your passion, do it.
To try, to not be afraid about the failure, and they are not alone. It's a really cool industry.
You are gonna change some lives, maybe not in the way a doctor would do it, but you are gonna make an impact.